So my course is finally available. My Psychic Initiation self-paced video course is available on my website. I can't believe it's finally up. If you have been following me for the last 18 to 12 months, you would have heard me at times speak into the development of this course. And so many of you have already brought it. I was overwhelmed by the amount of pre-sales I got. I literally sold out of the pre-sale units I had available. So thank you so much for trusting me with the development of your psychic abilities. Now, for anyone else who's looking at purchasing this course, I want to give you a little bit of a taster of what to expect. So I'm going to include the first lesson for free. It's going to start playing once I finish speaking in this video. Now this lesson is the 4 realms of psychic development. So it's a great lesson to start with because it's going to teach you about the 4 realms, but it's also going to give you an overview of what I'm going to cover in the course. This lesson also includes a work booklet, so make sure you download that as well because it's going to give you the full experience of what it's like to do this course. Now, I've got a video to preview the course where I talk through all the different lessons on my website, so go and check that out. The main outcomes that you're going to get from this course is you're going to have a deep understanding of how your mind works. And the reason for this is we need to understand the mind so we can create separation from it. When we separate from the mind, we can then tell the difference between what is my mind and what is my psychic gifts. Then you're going to have a deeper understanding of what your gifts actually are. Then the course is going to support you whilst you create your own system of how to access those gifts. We are all individual and special in our own ways. So this course isn't rigid. It's actually very flexible and it allows you to explore what tools, techniques, and systems are going to work for you personally. This is the one thing that I've learned from working with so many different students is we all have our own way of how we access our abilities, our purpose, and our gifts. So this is exactly what this course will support. So I really hope you enjoy this course. Obviously, there's more information on the course itself and how to purchase it on my website. For now, please enjoy the very first lesson. There are 4 key realms to psychic development. There is the earth realm, the mental realm, the astral realm, and the spiritual realm. This course is going to cover all 4 of these realms. And I'm going to briefly explain what each of these realms represent and why they're important. So let's start with the earth realm. Now the earth realm is connected to the body. What I've noticed with many psychics is that they are incredible at receiving information and connecting to the astral. But when it comes to the earth realm, to the body, sometimes there's missing information. What I want you to think about is the fact that you feel things before you think them, which means the body is picking up on psychic information faster than the mind. So it's so important to develop a relationship with the body where we understand what it's communicating to us. Now, the signals of the body are actually communicated through sensations and emotions. So if you're hypersensitive to your surroundings, environment, and people, your body is going to be an amazing psychic tool. Here's the missing piece. We forget that our body has its own needs, its own personality, and it has its own way of communicating information. And we need to connect with and learn the language of the body. We also need to understand the needs of the body and create a system where we're meeting those needs. Because once the body feels cared for, that's when we can create such a clear channel through the body to access deep psychic information. If you've ever had issues around interpreting psychic information and you want to be able to go deeper than just surface level jargon, the body is where it's at. So in this course, I'm going to teach you how to create a relationship with the body, how to learn the language of the body, and also how to understand the emotional information as psychic information. This realm is very important. Let's discuss the mental realm. Now, this is probably the most difficult realm for all of my students, and it's taken me a very long time to get an understanding of this realm. So it's not easy, but it takes consistency, practice, and determination to really master the mental realm. But the more you master this space, the easier it is to access your psychic gifts. So in this course, what I'm going to be showing you to do is to be able to observe the mind first. And then we are going to go through a process of creating separation from the mind. Once we create separation from the mind, it is then we can really see it and work with it. So it's not working against us. The most common thing that psychics have problems with is understanding what is my mind and what is my intuition. So I'm going to be going into a lot of detail, and I'm going to be asking you to slow down, observe, separate, and care for the parts of the mind that present themselves. Now, this realm comes with a warning clause because sometimes we don't see the way our mind is behaving and what it has convinced us of. So this is also where your support networks come in, because as you start to notice characteristics and behaviors of the mind, you may need additional support to help you work through and process why your mind works that way. And I promise you it will pay off, because what it's going to give you, it's going to allow you to see the mind, work with the mind, get the mind to be seated with you, and allow you to come into a very relaxed psychic state where you can rely and trust the information that's coming in. As I always say to many of my students, the deeper I see myself, my mind, the deeper I will see others. So this is such a beautiful realm to explore, but go slow and be very gentle with yourself with what comes up. So let's move on to the astral realm. I have to say the astral realm is probably the most favorite realm for all of my students. I feel that the astral realm is connected to the soul or the energetic body, and this is how we receive psychic information outside of ourselves. So if you've ever spoken to a guide or a magical or spiritual being, usually this is happening through the astral realm. So what this course is going to allow you to do is create a consistent structure to access the astral realm. But it's also going to allow you to acknowledge your mind and care for your mind whilst you're in this space. Because one of the biggest problems that students have is actually being able to connect to the psychic information and trust that it is the psychic information and not a projection of the mind. So we're going to create a space in the astral realm that is consistently yours. The other thing that the astral realm is going to allow us to do is also access the subconscious mind. Now, this is a really important part of it, because the more we see our mind, the more we will be able to access psychic information with clarity and confidence. So the astral realm is where it's at, and I'm going to teach you how to access it whenever you need it and create confidence so you can trust the information you're receiving. And finally, we're going to discuss the spiritual realm. Now, the spiritual realm is mastery. The spiritual realm is when you understand the earth realm, the mental realm, and the astral realm, and you have embodied and mastered each of those realms and brought them all in together. When you start to master all three realms together, what it actually represents is the embodiment of the self. You have a deep understanding of how the mind works, of how the body works, and then how to access your psychic intuition in a very aligned way. This is when we really start to understand what our true purpose is and how our gifts work. So the spiritual realm will be what you aim for. It's to embody and understand each realm as much as possible and then come into alignment with your gifts.